It's about commitment, healing, honor, respect. This is Barber Life. Cutting hair, I like it. Barbershop, I like it. Change your life, I like it. Conversate, I like it.
Peace. This is Conscious Heads Barbering Boot Camp. And the Barbering Boot Camp is not just for the students that I teach in my boot camp, but it's to further the education on barbering. We got a good one here for you today. We have the barber Paul Jones with us today, and we try to bring inspirational people to our platform, people that's done things in the barbering field, people that's made a name for themselves in the barbering field, and just to inspire others to want to be in this field, to want to do well in this field. Many times people come with ambition. Hey, I want to be a barber. I want to be a boss. I want to run my own shop. I want to do this and I want to do that. But it ain't just that simple. It ain't that simple. You know what I'm saying? It's like it take work. And to be a boss, you don't have a person cracking the whip on your back. You got to crack the whip yourself. You got to discipline yourself enough to get up at 6, 7, 8 a.m. in the morning. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? It's a lot of sacrifices that you have to make in order to be a boss, in order to get into this field. You know what I mean? So it's a lot to go with it, but it ain't hard. You know what I mean? But it take dedication and take commitment. So we have our brother Paul with us today. How you feeling today, good brother?
Great, brother. How are you?
Man, I'm doing wonderful, brother. I appreciate you coming through to talk with us at Conscious Heads Barbering Boot Camp. We call this making the necessary MTNA. Make the necessary adjustments. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about that. You know, my mom passed away almost a year ago, and that was one of the sayings that me and my sister kept hearing her say, you know, when she was actually, going through what she was going through. And she kept saying, we never heard this before. And she was like, make the necessary adjustments. And it was something that she just kept saying. And, and I took that and I was like, you know what, you can use that in every aspect of life. You know what I'm saying? Right. Even in your barbering career, you know what I'm saying? You ain't making enough money. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out how to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? You got to make the necessary adjustments. You know what I mean? And you seem like you've been the person to actually do that, to make the necessary adjustments, adjusting yourself constantly and consistently so that you can be successful in this field. You know what I'm saying? But we glad to have you here, bro. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's just wonderful to have you here. And we just wanted to start off, man. You know what I mean? Tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, I know you are entrepreneur. You do some acting. You do some cutting on sets with, many different popular movies that's out there. Hair shows that you've actually sponsored and put on. Barbering, you know what I'm saying? The artists, you do many things, bro, in the community. Definitely a motivation in the community. And, just say a little bit about yourself, bro, just in general.
I'm always the type of person that I feel as though that I try to be where I need to be, because I didn't have that influence when I came up. I did a lot of guessing and then found a lot of good mentors along the way. So that actually helped me grow and be who I am. Because all the stuff that I've ever done was a big guess. Like, hey, let's see what happens if I do this. Let's see what happens if I do that. So at this moment, everything, like I said, in my life, I go in full force, and I'm so good of a character that it just worked out for me. It works in my favor.
Okay. Got you. So man, look, let's go back a little bit, you know what I mean? And tell us a little bit about you growing up. You know what I'm saying? What growing up and what made you want to cut hair?
So my mom's is a senior cosmetologist. She was doing hair before I was born. And I started off, latchkey kid. Then your mother like, look, come up the job with me. You need to learn how to, work. I'm like, all right, cool. So I started off shampooing, and then shampooing went to me, setting perms for people. And then that went to me, just, in all forms of hair. I used to rod.
So did you learn, you learned by your mother being a senior, you learned how to do all forms of hair. Like, so you learned how to do all of the straight hair cuts and like woman cuts.
No, so I started off actually as a cosmetologist.
Okay,
yeah, I was a real cosmetologist. My mother, trained me Marcel curls, shears, And at the time, you know, when I was growing up, being a male cosmetologist wasn't it. That wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
Okay, that's a heck of a back. I mean, it's still a
yeah,
heck of a background coming up though. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
you know, you learn skills that a lot of average barbers don't learn.
Right. I learned color from my mom's and shear cutting from my mom's perms and just knowing that whole system before I even had a barber license.
That's
You
see,
know what I'm saying?
that gave you an advantage. That definitely
Correct.
gave you an advantage in
Correct.
the field. Okay, okay,
Yeah. And then
okay.
even cosmet, you know, just having the customer service in cosmetology. Because you know, women feel as though if a man washed their hair grow.
Right, right,
So that
right,
was
right.
like I got crazy tips from that. So it was like that was like my drive. Like I can get money, I can get me a little chicken box or whatever I need, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that motivated me to stay in it.
Okay, okay. So you started off in cosmetology, and
Mm.
then it's like, all right, man, I don't really like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
No, no, no. I loved it.
you loved it,
I love
but you
cosmetology, but like I told you,
yeah, just
it wasn't
the image of
even if you think about in our time, you know, we came up
yeah,
like pretty much in the same time. You probably a little older, but you know, men who were in hair, they looked a certain kind of way.
yeah,
And you know, not to put my neighborhood down, but you know, I grew up in Cherry Hill. You know, we tough.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it was like,
yeah,
you know, it was
yeah.
rough. Like I can't, you know, wear them little small little shiny suits with all the little. Now I did meet Cool C. Cool C was a cool dude that was from Bronner Brothers.
Right.
I think he's from Chicago. He was one of the guys that I had met along the way that I was like, all right, if I was gonna be a cosmetologist, I'd be like this. He was a
Right.
cool a guy. Barry Fletcher, you know, a couple of those guys. You know, James Mack from here. He was with the Head Gangsters back in the day. I met
Okay.
them. I used to go to all the hair shows with my mother, so I seen a lot of hair, you know, in my life.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Advantage. You had that. You
yeah,
had an edge from the start. Okay,
correct.
okay, okay, okay. So then, you come up. So then you say, all right, you wanted to go full time with the
Yeah,
barbering
yeah.
thing. Now, what age was you when you decided that?
So I never not cut hair. You know, I always cut hair. I started off at my mom's shop, and she was inside the senior citizen building at the time. And at that time, you know, the seniors would let me come down, let me mess their haircuts up and all that. And then it was across the street was a Asian guy, and I would always go over there and just talk. I'm a very friendly guy, so I would always go over there and talk. And then one day he was like, "You cut hair?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm gonna let you cut my hair." So when I first cut his hair, man, you talking about sweat dripping down my back on straight hair. It was amazing. The feeling of your heart dancing, you never doing something, and he wanted me to do a fade which I've never done. It ended up as a bald head, but or real low cut, I should say.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, you know, I'm saying in
Mm.
my classes that, don't be scared. I mean, somebody gonna be a victim for you. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
no
There's gonna be a
question.
lot of people that's gonna be victims for you. And I heard you speaking on one of your interviews, and you was talking about it's people that don't speak to you to this day. You know what I'm saying? And we a lot of us, a lot of us got the same story, bro. I got some
Hey.
people that still pissed at me to this day, because like, come on, man. Because I was experimenting. I started cutting hair when I was in the seventh grade. When I was
Right.
in seventh grade was when I started to experiment with cutting hair and all. But same thing, you know what I'm saying? When you
Yeah.
think you know what I'm saying, and you get that, you know what I mean? And a different
Oh, the
texture of
whole
hair, man.
right.
It's like, oh man, this ain't come
It's
out.
even some
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say I don't like saying black,
Yeah.
but some hue men,
Yeah,
men of color, that hair is straighter
course.
than normal hair.
Yeah.
Right. So I went across and I'm telling you, I've murdered some haircuts.
Hey. I mean, and so so we try to tell everybody out here, you know what I'm saying? When you first
Mm.
starting off, some of y'all want to be so perfect. I'm gonna put this out when I get,
Right.
you know what I mean, when I get here and when I do this and do that. Like, look, man, it's a journey. You just
All of
don't,
it.
it don't,
Right.
it, you gotta open up your barbering third eye. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You know what I
Right.
mean? When you able to see when you first start off, even when I start off my classes, it's very mechanical.
Right.
And I do stuff like step by step. How you hold the clippers and turning the clippers and
Mhm.
doing all that stuff. And then after a while, it becomes like you start to flow with it. You know what I'm saying? And
Well,
get
comfortable
the
for
flow
you.
comfortable.
Right.
Then you start to see.
Right.
You know what I mean? First up, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, take that line. You see that line right there?
Mhm.
They can't really see it. You know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
ain't ready
see,
yet.
it's a little
Yeah.
dark right there. You know what I'm saying? They can't really
Mhm.
see it. But then as you start to get into it, that third eye start to develop. And then you
Right.
just flow with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you become on a professional level, when you just start to see and your eyes start to open up. You know what I'm saying? And you
Right.
get it. You're like, oh, okay, I'm getting it. I can see now. I can fully see. You know what I'm saying? So your third eye open. You know what I mean? At an early age, it seems. And you know, like you said, we done messed some people up, hacked some people up.
Oh man,
but
I'm gonna tell you, I learned I messed up.
Yeah,
to learn how to get as good as I am.
Exactly. But that got you again to where you at today.
Correct.
And then from there, some of those people that you messed up or got you to the point where you got the clients that you have today.
Right.
Now, you start off, when did you really start to open up your barbering third eye where you really start to understand?
So I was working at it was a spot on Erdman Avenue, Harlem Blues. That was Erdman in Bel Air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like freelancing at this time. I was just trying to figure it out. I knew how to cut hair. I was cutting hair in the house and, cutting hair in my mom's shop, just trying to figure it out, cutting my brothers and cousins. And my brother was going to this dude that was at Harlem Blues. Yeah. He was the owner. He told me come down, he'd give me a try. So, me just being around that guy is like, he was amazing to me at that time. And I was like, well, what I'm doing is like bottom compared to what he's doing and the years of experience that he had. So I stressed, like, I need to get better. So I just messed up until I got great. Yeah. I just kept trying. And at that time, I think about it now, they got videos on YouTube. And when I was messing up, we had books. Man, we had the books that come through. Yeah. And that was it.
Yeah, I tell them, you know what I mean? When I started in 7th grade, I was like, I went to the barbershop, but not on a regular.
Right.
You know, so it wasn't no YouTube. I had to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like you
sitting in barbershops talking to people.
Yeah, talking to people. And there was a guy around the way who used to cut hair. And he inspired me, but he didn't teach me though, because he was like a bully dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was older than me. You know what I mean? Always, you know what I mean? Getting punchy in the chest and stuff. You know what I mean? But you had to just watch and just try to figure it out and really think. You know what I mean, about the whole process. Correct, and everything. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's good. So you start doing that, and then you start getting into now. You start doing the Beijing's.
It was me and when I was in school, it was a dude named Elliot, and we went around.
Now you went to
Avara's. Yeah, Avara's on Pratt Street though.
On Pratt Street, yeah.
Now it's a pizza spot, but back in the day, that was the spot to go to. Sal, yeah. So I had a homeboy that went to school with me. His name was Elliot.
Okay.
A good friend, man. Like, what's up, my best friend? We was like best friend in barbering. You know what I mean? So. His shape ups was amazing. I'm talking about out of this world, and I could blend. Yeah. From all the years, I always learned how to blend like that. So I would blend. He would do that, and then we would always go to all the barbershops in the area, everywhere in Baltimore. Earl and Wood and Cusack and Feli. All them guys, we'd go sit in their shops and absorb as much as we could.
Right.
And they was doing Jings at the time.
Yeah.
Women Wood was real big on Jings and North Avenue.
Yeah.
So we would go up there and sit up there. And then eventually, man, Elliot said, man, we're going to go down Philly and figure it out. So we went down Philly and we figured it out. When we became great, because, I already had color background.
Yeah.
So I knew the steps. I knew what colors to mix. I didn't know what Began was at the time. So I was like, I never worked with this color. So it was like, I want to see how they work with the color. And then I can add my expertise to it and my art skills to it to make it better.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I really got into winning the big competitions and all that.
Okay. Yeah. So then you start going to competitions, and that's what you would entering into those.
No, I just would go. I'm gonna tell you how I started. Okay. I didn't know. I never had a mentor as far as hair shows went.
Yeah.
I just would show up and they were like, yo, we were doing best fade. And I just jump up there. Sometimes I didn't have clippers. Like, I would, hey, let me borrow your clippers or buy clippers and cut on stage.
Right.
And then I would come in like third place or, sometimes I didn't qualify, but I just said, what's the point of being scared? I'm going to push myself and I know what I can do. I didn't know in the time limit that I could do it in.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, my time went out, but I just went in every category and figured it out. Yeah.
So, how many trophies did you win? I mean, how many times did you win?
I have a lot of trophies. So
in different, a lot of
Yeah,
different categories.
I won a lot of places, Major League, Exotics. At the time, these were the places to be. It wasn't no these new shows. It was Major League was like the major show.
Right.
Exotics was the major show. Bronner Brothers.
Right.
I got an award for Bronner Brothers, and I'm trying to think what else. That would be a good one. A lot of little small places, because they traveled a lot, so I won a lot of places with those people, and that's all I could think of right this second offhand.
Okay. Okay.
But it's probably about maybe 40, 50 trophies in my house.
Okay. So you traveling a lot.
Yeah.
So becoming popular here in Baltimore, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I mean, financially, was that, you know what I mean? Was that looking good for you at that time?
So it wasn't, but I was just cutting hair, and
Right.
when you win, you get the pot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So pot be $1,000, $1,500,
Oh, okay,
$2,500. So I'm like, I have to win.
Right. Right.
I flew all the way down here. I gotta win.
Right.
And I was fortunate enough to meet Curtis at Bronner Brothers one year. I had just me and one of the guys here had formed like a little barber group, and we said we all were just gonna go to Atlanta one day. And we went to Atlanta at the Bronner Brothers, and we bought a table, and I met a lot of people. And one of the people that I met was Curtis, and Curtis took a liking to me, and he put me under his wing. He took me to a lot of places. That's
Now,
Puffy.
Curtis is the
Curtis Smith is Puffy's original barber.
okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, before he got sick, he was
Okay.
Puff Daddy's original barber. He did a lot of people.
Okay.
I mean, you think about Usher and all those guys from back in the days from those videos. He was the barber that cut him. So as one of the guys I was mentored by and have mad love for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you had a great background with meeting people and coming up with mom, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
into
yeah.
this
My
field,
mom's
and
was
then
amazing.
going to the hair shows and I
Mhm.
guess being introduced to the latest techniques and always down with the brand new thing that's going on.
Right.
And then you end up I guess during this time, well, I said during this time you was at New Directions Barbershop during that time.
No, at that time I got no. So the first time I went, we was at Cutting and Style first. That was in the 90s. I was with Scott Wayne. Everybody was there. I think I started traveling heavy is when I went back to Scott Shop after I left. So it was probably New Direction when I started doing everything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I mentioned brother Scott. That's a good friend of mine because he's the person that made me take barbering serious.
Yeah, me too.
Because we had a organization at the time, and he was in my organization,
Mhm.
and he was doing like social work or something at the time.
Right.
And then he
right,
decided
yeah.
that, you know what I'm saying, we was talking, he's like, man, I think I'm gonna get into barbering. I'm gonna start cutting hair. And I had the background of cutting hair, but I wasn't really doing it like that at the time. You know what I mean? I was cutting a little something,
Right.
you know what I mean? And he said, yeah, I'm getting ready to get serious with it. And I was like, you know what? And I was trying to find something to really get into, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to guess I said, man, and then man, we could probably open up a shop together and we could do this
Right,
and do that.
right.
And you know what I mean? And we started talking about those things. Then he went to school. He started going to school, and then I didn't go to school, but I found the guy at a bookstore I was working at, became my master barber, and he took me under his wing, you know what I'm saying? So I did the
Right.
apprenticeship way. He went to school, and then he wound up just going out, you know what I'm saying? I think was the guy, I think he worked with Cusack, I think it was.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? I don't think I
Yeah.
ever met him, but I heard his name quite a few times.
Cusack was that guy.
Yeah.
He used to cut North Avenue. What's that spot up on North Avenue? The other North Avenue.
Oh,
not
I
this
know
side.
you talking. Is it Superman?
Yeah, Superman.
Oh,
yes,
okay,
yes,
okay,
Superman.
all right, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I ended up meeting him, Cusack, when he was working with Wood on North Avenue at when it was right over top of the fire station.
Okay.
That's when I met both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think about that. That was the 90s, bro.
Yeah. So like I said, New Directions, like Scott. So he went out and he started doing this thing, and then I opened up my own shop, you know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? And then, you know, we never really did, you know, stuff together on that level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But good brother, man, you know what I'm saying?
Nah,
And
great, man.
he's actually one of the people who told me about, because I forgot I think we was in the thing and we mentioned Scott. We was talking at Troy's meeting.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
day.
yeah,
That's what we
yeah,
talked.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what we talked about Scott. Yeah,
That's the first
dude.
dude I ever went to his house. He ain't had no TV.
Yeah,
He had all books in
yeah,
his house, and I was like, "He like, bro, you gotta open your mind and really focus on life. TV is gonna do what they tell you to do.
right.
These books is what you want to do."
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
was one of the dudes that inspired me to just not go for the okey doke and push myself further.
yeah.
Yeah,
Good brother,
great
man.
brother.
Good brother.
Honestly,
All
I see him as a father figure. He'll see me as a brother figure, but I will see him more as a father figure for real. That's
Yeah,
how powerful he was.
I
To
mean,
me.
man, you know, that brother always been there. You know, for me, I can call him anytime,
Yeah,
any day. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man, I need this, I need that. He
100,
been that, he
100%.
been that
Right.
brother that's always been there. So,
Yeah.
you know,
He used to drive me home, and he lived. I live in Cherry Hill at the time.
Okay.
He lived all the way east,
Yeah.
so it was like he used to take me home and then go to. It was amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. So let's jump into the whole acting thing.
Yes.
Yes. So you cutting hair.
Uh-huh.
You're a pretty successful barber here in
Right.
Baltimore,
Right.
cutting hair, and then you get into that. How does that happen? The acting thing.
So it's some dudes called BMR twins, and they should make skits, and they would make skits that would like break the internet. Like to this day, videos I made with those guys are still going viral.
That's crazy.
So they're like amazing at what they do.
Right.
And they just took a liking to me. You know,
Like
I was
barbering skits or just skits about
any
anything?
skits.
Okay.
They made it barbering for me,
Okay.
but they would just do some of the wildest skits you wouldn't imagine. And they kind of developed ones for me. I would never say I could take the credit for any of those videos. They really made those videos, and they did what they do because they thought so outside of the box. That made me think outside of the box. So I was like, you know, yo, they was like, no, yo, you really can act. Like you really could, you should figure something out. And I was doing background for a lot of stuff. And it's just that one of my homeboys like, yo, I seen your video go viral, yo. I got a movie coming out. Be more careful. I want you to be in it. Because I want you to audition though to see if you can do it.
Right.
I smashed the audition. He was like, yo, I got you. So I was a
What
small
year was
role.
this?
This just happened.
Okay.
Yeah, Be More Careful just dropped. I'm gonna say last year,
Okay.
2003.
Okay.
Yeah, but I did
But
like
it
little
didn't come out. It's
background.
not out yet though.
It's out. It's out. It's on Tubi right now.
Oh, it's on Tubi
Be
right
More
now.
Careful. It's on Tubi right now.
Okay. Oh,
Yep.
so we can check you out on Tubi.
Yep. Tubi, Apple TV. I think it's on YouTube too. I'm not sure. It might not be on YouTube.
Okay.
But I know it's on any paid channel.
So you on there as a barber?
No, I'm on there as an actual bouncer.
Oh, as a bouncer,
like an enforcer.
Okay, got you.
So Second Chance, this movie called Second Chance,
Okay.
that didn't come out yet. That movie, I'm actually acting as a barber.
So where's that gonna be at?
That's gonna be on the same thing. It's gonna be on Tubi and all the whatever paid channels. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Second Chance, we did that right here. We did it at my actual shop. We filmed that part right in my shop. A lot of accomplished actors was in it.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
So let's go back though. But your start though on TV. So you was behind the scenes.
I started off behind the scenes more than anything.
Just more styling, more so.
Right. So I was a barber on Pulpit Gangster. It was like one of my first shows. I did BET, they had a show called Boomerang.
Okay.
I met Demi. Demi was one of the people who was really heavy into that field, and she took me on set, and I fell in love with it. So she got me on BMF. She got me on a lot of shows. So yeah, I was definitely background barber for a lot of shows.
So BMF, what did you do on you?
I was a lead barber on BMF.
Okay.
Yeah, so I cut, Meech hair. I cut Da Vinci hair. I cut basically everybody that was in the cast. I cut their hair. Okay. All the main cast people. I didn't do any background people. I did all the main cast. And when I say that, a lot of people will see background meaning that's people who walking in the back. That's people who driving in their cars. Everything in Hollywood is set up. Yeah. So everything that goes on other than the main cast I didn't do. I did only the main cast people.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And what did that financially? Was that a really good look?
Well, I mean, I got noticed by 50 Cent, so you gotta love
shoot,
that.
okay,
He was on
okay,
set.
Okay.
That was his baby at the time.
Right.
Power was his first. This was the second baby that he was really focused on and putting attention to. So it was like, he really noticed what I was doing. And I know he ain't gonna never admit that, but I know the barber person that was on the show with Tommy was his force. I can pretty much guarantee that was based off of me.
Right.
If you see him, he a big dude, the cut hair, just came home.
It
was like,
it
was like, yo, come on, bro. Like,
yeah.
I know that spark came from me. Will you watch? Because he used to just come in the shop in the trailer and just like look and see what I was doing.
Yeah.
And he kind of like was intrigued by me staying up to date and everything that was going on the shows. So it was like, I was like, yo, this character was like, why would you make him a barber? He could have been anything. He just made him a barber.
Right.
So
Right. No, I got you.
Yeah.
So then we, from that aspect of what you're doing,
Uh-huh.
are you looking to do more so far as in the
man,
a lot more in the acting now?
So Tyler Perry, always is always been a cool guy. I did like 2 or 3 movies with Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry, man, he be Tyler Perry be having some of the craziest hair wig.
So I'm gonna say this.
Pieces, man.
I'm gonna tell you why though. The Tyler Perry movies literally take about 2 to 3 weeks to do.
Okay.
So you like with a TV show like BMF what took like 6 months.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry do that in 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
He has a whole movie roll out.
Wow.
Everything, and you got to stay on it. Boom, 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 and you done, and you gone, and you go on to the next project. It keep you on for something else. It move you over there, Yeah. So.
Okay. All right. Because I be looking. I'm like, man, that look horrible, man. You know, because
he moving fast. Though,
like you said, he moving, but he do.
He wanted to be realistic too. Like a lot of stuff that he does, he don't want it to look like I just came out the barbershop look.
Yeah.
I wanted to look a little old of a scene. Like if you poor, you can't have the sharpest shape up in the world.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that when you say barber and eye, you got to know how to turn your barber and eye down and how to turn it up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you'll see a scene in a movie and like that haircut was phony.
Yeah.
But do it fit the scene?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's another thing that I learned for being on the sets. You got to know, all right, it's time for a fresh cut.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a death scene. He got a sharp shape up, like you know what I'm saying. So you got to know
about that.
Yeah, so all those things count when you start doing movies.
Yeah,
you got to know how a haircut visually look.
Yeah,
like is this going to show up well on camera?
Right.
So that's a lot of like you get a whole brand new barber eye when you start working on sets.
Wow, that's
because now you're working with lighting and cameras and colors and stylists and makeup. Yeah. So it becomes
as
different.
A barber, I'm always looking at people's hair, no matter what movie it is.
Correct.
And, I was thinking about times I think I was watching Django and Jamie Foxx and looking at and you looking at the shape, you know what I mean? You're like, wait a minute.
That guy died.
Would that be appropriate? You know what I'm saying? Like
for
that time frame, you know what I'm saying? Did they even have it?
We know that haircut didn't work. We know
you know what I'm saying? So I mean, why you say that, you know what I mean? I never thought about that. It would be more, you know what I mean, like of scenes and the hair and all that kind of stuff. You just don't know the small little details that go in the stuff. Okay.
Right.
All right.
So you definitely want to always match the scene and to make sure. So sometimes working on those sets, they work backwards.
Okay.
So I might do the end of the movie first.
Yeah.
Then we might do the beginning of the movie in the middle. And then we do the middle of the movie at the end. So all those haircuts got to match. Yeah. And gradually grow or decrease.
Okay.
According to those times.
Okay.
So, we have a lot of reference shots that we have to take, and we had to take pictures for every scene to match them. So,
I never thought about how difficult that could be.
You see the movie, you like, his haircut wasn't like that on the last part.
I definitely
that means they shot one scene, they ended, and they started another scene, and he went somewhere else to get a haircut, and they had to match it.
Right. So, okay, I never even thought about that, bro.
So you got to match the scenes, a lot of that.
Right, and so if you wanted to do that and get into that field, that's called signing up and going to a movie to become the head.
So you gotta lock into a head of hair first.
Okay.
And you gotta do a lot of trial and errors. I did a lot of low budget movies that they allowed me to do, and I built my name up.
Right.
You know, I built my resume up, and then people started calling me. The
That's what's up.
hardest part is me being in Baltimore, and you got to think about L.A. and Atlanta is where all the movies being filmed.
Okay.
So I gotta get my name from Baltimore into the hands of people in L.A. and or Atlanta to get a good role to make sure I keep showing up and keep coming back into the fold of movies.
All right. So y'all hear that, fam? He spitting game right now. So this is
Yeah.
another whole nother aspect of
Mhm.
how to make money, you know what I mean, in the barbering field, you know what I'm saying,
Correct.
in the styling field, the cosmetology field in general. You know, there's, I'm sure with that is stuff with makeup and all kinds of stuff, like I said, because I never thought about some of the stuff that that he's saying right now
Right.
until just now, and how deep and intricate a lot of those things could get. But that's what's up. So let's jump into the hair shows now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There's a whole nother aspect right there.
Yes,
You know what I'm
yes.
saying? And I always kind of wanted to do something myself. Always watch Sister Malika do a lot of the hair shows.
Yeah, dreads and heads.
Dreads and heads. Shout out to Sister Malika. I watched her do quite a few things. I kind of wanted to do things because I was always doing other events like political events and all.
Right.
But man, talk about because I met the reason why I got to know you initially was because one of my students, Makai, from the Barber boot camp,
Makai, that was
actually
dope.
came out and he won at one of your the hair battles that you actually had.
Correct.
And that's how we actually kind of we got to know each other through brother Troy and more than a shop. But then when I met you there, I was like, oh, okay, that's your hair show. And we got to talking about it.
Right.
So that's how I got familiar with you. Yeah.
We experimented with the Malika show.
Okay.
What I was doing is I was doing a big barber show, only barbering.
Okay.
And I wanted to incorporate anybody in hair. So I wanted to make sure nails, hair, everybody was incorporated from Baltimore because a lot of people get slighted. And I don't want to slight anybody because I know how it feels to create, your own thing, without a buzz. So I said, well, I hollered at Malika one year and she had James Mack do a show. And a lot of people didn't show up. So I was like, all right, so how can I get a lot of people to show up? I said, free barber show. It's never been done. Wow. So I said, look, let's get all the students. I want students on students. I want students from every school. Right. I went to what was that? The one in what's that? BBS, I think that's what it's called.
In Baltimore?
Yeah, it's the one is in Essex. What's that? Barber.
Dundalk?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you.
Not Avara, not Avara.
Okay, not Avara.
No, not Avara. I didn't. That's the only one I did not go to.
Oh, okay.
But I went to what's it? Barber and Beauty in Rosedale.
Right.
I went to what is that area out there called? Like Hanover, Maryland. That's not really Hanover, Maryland. That's like out 70.
Okay.
I went out there and I went to I think that was Academy Barber.
Okay.
I reached out to a lot of barbers and I wanted to just do it free and I wanted them just to feel how it feel to be on stage, your clippers, your lights, your client not being your real client or just having that sweat on your back knowing that you can perform under these, you want to be the best, this is it. Right. If you want to be a platform artist, this is it. There's no mirrors in platform artistry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You on set.
Right.
They telling you 15 minutes, I need him out of here.
Yeah.
So I'm telling people, you got to know how to move when it's time to move. Yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you this. I learned from a great barber, Kenny Duncan. He told me you got to be able to give the client whatever cut that he needs for that arrangement, right? Sometimes you can get a Walmart cut because that's what you want. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get a Ruth Chris cut because that's what you need. Mm-hmm. And then you got to know how to fill in between. Right. So you got to know the feeling of what cut is for this price and this price point. Right. So that's speed taught me that fast, So I was like, how can I teach these kids right now? Because, all of them swear they the greatest barber in the world. Yeah, it's easy when, your model ain't moving and you've been cutting your nephew for 4 years. No, let's switch it up. Right. Let's change the lighting. Right. Let's change the style. Let's change, other people can cut just as good as you and put that pressure on you.
Right.
And let's see if you can still say you the best.
Right.
You know, I like that factor.
Right.
Because now these kids are thinking, I can just get some clippers and start cutting hair, and now I'm better than the best barber that you ever seen. Like, no, it don't work that way.
Right. Right.
It's so much in experience that I'm gonna have over top of you that I can control mine.
Yeah.
You know, I can give this amount of cut, or I can give that amount of cut. I can control it. You're at the point where all your cuts is exactly the same because that's the only level you know.
Right.
You got to know how to cut on every level. I done cut in shops being filled, you in there until 1 o'clock in the morning. And I done cut in shops when there was only 2 people in there.
Right.
So you got to know how to balance it.
Right.
Right.
Definitely. So you did that show. So then you got 2 shows that you did.
I personally in Baltimore.
Personally, okay. Then that's the one we came out.
So
I came to that. Yeah.
So me and Vernon did a show, the Baltimore Barber Expo. We have 3 of those.
That's Vernon is the guy who
dark skinned brother with the bald head.
With the sells the equipment.
Right, correct,
yeah, okay,
right.
Yeah.
Was a styling zone.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So we did 3 shows together. The first 2 shows he hired me to help him build the show up.
Okay.
And then the last show me and him partnered on.
Okay, got you.
So you know, to show the elevation of how I started. I always was,
I mean, y'all did pretty.
Yeah, I mean, you know, your first ones, we never did a horrible show, but
yeah.
we still want to do bigger. We've been around bigger shows.
Okay.
And you know, we wanted to, you know, we always want to exceed what we did the last time. Yeah. So I mean, you know, of course, you know, the shows in DC. When Joy used to do his shows, that was the DC Maryland Expo. I was a judge. I started off as a judge after I started winning so many battles. They started making me a judge.
Right.
So I really was focused on being a judge. So a lot of major league shows, I was a judge. A lot of exotic shows, I was a judge. The DC Expo, I was a judge. So when I moved over into hosting and education, it was like, wow, this is a whole new market. As you see, through this conversation, how I was grown and I was thrown into those positions. I didn't have mentors. So they told me, look, man, bro, you gotta be ready. We ready, you gotta be ready. And I had to be ready. I can't say I'm scared. Definitely. My heart was beating. Man, the first time I hosted a show, you think about it, you got 1,000 people looking at you and then your heart beating. And you gotta make sense. Yeah. No prompter, no teleprompter. I gotta make this work. I gotta actually say the right things to keep people motivated to come into the show.
I think that your life that you've been living to this point is showing people of many different things that you can do in this field. And this is just a few of them. There's so many different ways that you can make money in this field of barbering. You know what I'm saying?
Easier now.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot easier now with YouTube and all those different things. But you know what I mean, some people think it's just cutting right there in the shop. You know what I'm saying? So many different ways. You can own shops, you can barbering schools, you can get into the what you did with the acting thing.
Right.
Becoming a head stylist,
right.
Products that you can actually do. It's so many different lanes for this field that you can be successful. But as we know, there's a lot of people who don't succeed. Again, as we started off saying, you know what I mean? Because people don't have the commitment, the dedication. I'll be honest. I'll keep 100. I don't know. That's where some of the people that are always gonna be mad at me. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, like, what you do on your own time is your own thing. You know what I'm saying? And I tell anybody when they come to work here, like, you cannot come to work high. Cannot come to work
focus.
smoking, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't
focus.
A lot of times, a lot of these, younger people, they want to smoke. They want to smoke all day long. They want to smoke in the morning. They want to smoke in the afternoon. They want to smoke after they eat lunch. They want to smoke after. You know what I mean? Like, man, I don't know how you feel about it, but you can't.
No, I'm gonna tell you,
being undisciplined, you can't get in this field doing that.
I've never did any drugs ever in my life.
Right.
Never any drugs. Now I would drink alcohol. Yeah, but I've never did any drugs, and I'm always. I feel, and like I said, I know people who do drugs. Recreational drugs. And that fuels them because they're nervous.
Right.
I say use fear as your motivation because you fear to fail.
Right.
So as long as you fear to fail, you can always exceed if you use fear as your motivation.
Right.
I can't fail.
Right.
Every morning I look at myself in the mirror and I say, I can't fail. I cannot. I gotta get up I got to make this happen, and I got to push myself.
Yeah. And I just see a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, with it, you know what I mean, that it takes the motivation from them, you know what I'm saying, because they, you know what I mean, you in the zone, you know what I'm saying, and you, so your motive, you know, you kind of chilled out, you know what I'm saying, and relax. And then, you know, sometimes when I bring some of these people through apprenticeships, I mean, I try to pick the best people, but you know, everybody don't work. And I gotta get, you know what I mean, hey, look, you gotta meet the schedule, you gotta meet this right here, you gotta be doing this. And you know what I mean, we start not meeting the schedule, you know what I mean, I got people lined up for days that want to do apprenticeships, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey,
I'm gonna tell you how I started.
That was, you ain't, you know what I mean?
You gotta think about, like, when we was coming up, it was a barber, it was a situation. You started sweeping the floor, and you had to sweep the floor till somebody was like, hey, do this. And then, hey, you know what? I'm gonna teach you how to cut hair. Half of the time, you just was looking for a job, and haircut just happened to fall into your lap. So it's not now. You can actually desire to be a barber. You can actually go to another barber who's something that you inspire to be online and say, hey, let me pick your brain. Let me figure out, you know, how to get where I need to be. Like now, you gotta have publicists, and you gotta do marketing campaigns. You gotta know how to be a video editor, and it's so many lanes in this field now. So when I started off, I did it all by myself. It was nobody doing it. Like now I'm at the point where I actually need a publicist. I did my own marketing for years. You know, I was word of mouth. You know, that's how we all grew up. It wasn't no internet. You show your best haircut pictures.
That's right.
You had to cut best hair or you wouldn't get another client.
That's right.
So
let me ask you a question more controversial, because a lot of people split down the middle of this. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm more on the other side for a lot of people. How do you feel about unlicensed barbers in the field?
So I'm not going to call you a barber, because you earn the right to be a barber by being licensed. So how can I cut hair and I don't understand sanitation?
There you go.
So it's like, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to jump topics for a second, but I'm going to be on the same lines. If you go to those braiding spots, you know, you don't have to be licensed to be a braider. Just sit there and watch. How many times they drop a comb on the floor, pick it up, and put it in somebody's hair? That's a no-no. You know, how many times they didn't wash the hair right? You know, you didn't learn these steps because you didn't have to go to school. You know what I'm saying? How many times you reuse a product on somebody's hair? You never checked to see if they was even allergic to the product. And you using it, and then they come to you, and oh yeah, you got to be my assistant. Here, hold this. That's all unprofessional stuff that it's in the book.
It's in the book.
Right.
It's in the book. And it's like, kind of, you know, you want to, like, people want to jump the process. You know what I'm saying? They want to jump the process, and there's so many. I mean, shoot, it's like 75% people working in these shops, they ain't got no license. You know
I'm gonna tell you this, real facts. This is a fact that I got from the Department of Labor and Licensing.
Okay.
They said it's only 5,000 licenses in Maryland, right? If we both went to Wrightstown Road right now and drove down the street, we could see 500 barbers right now.
Oh, yeah.
So that means in Maryland, the whole state of Maryland only have 5,000 licensed barbers. So imagine how many people don't have a license.
It's more like, I think, and some of them, I think it's more like 7,500, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
it's supposed to be like 7,500, but that's not, like you said. That don't account. You know what I mean? That's only a few more. You know,
and that's not just Baltimore City. That's Baltimore County. That's Glen Burnie. That's PG County. That's everywhere Maryland touched. State
of Maryland. Then licensed cosmetologists. You know what I'm saying? I think they're like about 28,000 licensed in the state of Maryland. So here's the thing, man. I love my youth, and man, some of these dudes can cut their
some of the best.
They bad, man. You know what I'm saying? But I say, you ain't, you know what I mean? You a hair cutter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? A hair cutter, you know what I'm saying? A real barber, man. You know what I mean? We develop relationships with our clients. You know what I'm saying?
You know how to talk.
We know how to talk. Right. You know what I mean? We know about sanitation. We know about, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to know this stuff, man. And I know a lot of y'all think that you can cut hair very well, and you can, but you putting hair on the floor, you know what I'm saying? Get that barber license, man. I be trying to encourage people, man, get your license, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff you don't know. When you start to read and you study that book, you're like, damn, I'm glad I really, studied this because I didn't know this. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
You know what I mean? Get it? Because a lot of us, we had to bust our ass, you know what I'm saying, to study for that test, you know what I'm saying? And the test ain't hard, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people try to make it like they going to
once you read and you know what you're doing.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So we encourage people, man, with that, man. We love y'all young barbers. I'm developing more measures to help y'all be able to go through apprenticeships. If you don't want to go to school, you know what I'm saying? We already got a law changed. We got a law passed where you can get 3
right. I was
apprenticeships.
about to say that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Underneath of your master barber.
That's one of the things I admired about you. I sent you a lot of messages.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and because I admired what you were doing because it was in my mind to do.
Okay.
And I approached it wrong. So I was
Okay.
like, well, I know he got the right way to do it. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna reach out to him. And I think we end up meeting up at
Troy
Troy. Right.
You did send me messages?
Yeah, I did. You
Wow.
probably saw them. They on there.
Okay.
Because the videos that come across
Okay.
my page.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, who is this guy? Let me.
Yeah.
I said, one day I was just going to come down here and just knock on the door, but we ended up running into you at Troy's.
Yeah. But we can, man, I mean, anything we need to do, we can chat. I mean, because I used to go to those meetings, man, and people used to be down there arguing, like, man, how can we get more barbers under? You know what I mean? They'd be like, hey, nothing we can do about it. No. And I was at one of the meetings one day, and I just raised my hand and said, man, what do we need to do in order to make the change? You know what I'm saying? And he said, man, that's something you got to do in Annapolis. I was like, say no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I got a bunch of clients, you know what I'm saying, that's in the politics and all. Came in that same day, cut the brother named Davon Love, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
in
right.
the pilot, you know what I said, man, what I need to do to get this law changed? He said, oh, man, it's easy, man. Contact your delegate. It wasn't even hard. It wasn't even the process of it.
I don't even know the steps.
I thought it was going to
helping me out.
I thought it was going to cost me thousands of dollars. Anything that you want to change that, you know what I'm saying? We can even get more than 3. You know what I'm saying? But
really?
I just put in 3 at the time
because I feel.
Yeah, because I was doing a barbering boot camp.
Right.
And during that time it was hard because I had to take one barber at a time through apprenticeship. So it was like, man, this is for, you know what I'm saying? I need to be able to take more people through. Right. You know what I'm saying? But now I got people that's under me that's that come up from under me that's master barbers. So now, you know what I'm saying? Like now I can funnel my people through. Right. You know what I mean? It's a whole movement that we have going on. You know what I'm saying? But man, I really appreciate you stopping through and inspiring. So anything for any aspiring barbers that that's in the field now, you know what I mean, or just anything, any inspirational thing that you want to end off with, you know what I mean?
So the number one thing I always tell people is know what you are. You know what I mean? Know what you are and know your capabilities. And where you're weak when you're weak in those things, you push yourself in the weakest part. The easy stuff is already done. You got the easy part down. Do something that you can't do and push yourself until you can do it. And then you find another weak spot. And before you look at it, you'll look around, you'll be a well-rounded barber. That's always the number one thing I always tell people. Push yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's all about what you bring to the table.
That's right.
You're responsible for you.
So like you said, some of y'all, man, I see some of y'all work and your cuts and everything, you know what I'm saying, man? You know what I mean? We got some brilliant people coming up in the field, you know what I'm saying? But I want y'all to understand too that it's about legacy. It's about, you know what I'm saying, like when you leave this earth, who did you train? You know what I'm saying? Who did you train under you to be able to step up and take over? You know what I'm saying? Who you teaching this field to? You got some of y'all got some great skills. Are you gonna pass those skills on, or you gonna take them to the grave? You know what I'm saying? It's about legacy. It's about legacy, man. Hey, man, I really appreciate you coming out today. You know what I'm saying?
Easy, bro. Anytime, man.
You know what I mean? And this ain't the last time we're gonna hear from you.
Never.
We'll keep this thing going strong. You know what I mean? Yeah, no doubt. Well, thanks, man. We appreciate you, and peace.
I see y'all.
It's about commitment, healing, honor, respect. This is Barber Life. Cutting hair, I like it. Barbershop, I like it. Change your life, I like it. Conversate, I like it.